welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the number one most listened to. Wait, hang on. Does that say no one listened to? Ooh, awkward.
Ian, my friend, welcome back into the Swift Half. How are you?
I'm good, Alan. I'm grand, and welcome to April.
Is it April? It's April showers, isn't it? We have April. So March is supposed to come in like a lamb, and go out like a lion. Do you think it was the other way around, March? It came in like a lion. No, it came in like a lamb and went, oh, I don't know which way around it is. Anyway, it's the wrong way around, Ian. Yeah, it's the wrong way around. And we've got April showers straight away.
We have had April showers, but we did have Easter. Did you enjoy Easter?
I actually did enjoy Easter for a change. I got some eggs. I got some Easter eggs. And I bought Paula the best ever Easter egg, Ian. So think of my slight sense of humour. Get what Easter egg I got her?
Crunchy?
No, a spaceship one.
That's
it's
good.
Big chocolate Easter egg with a white chocolate spaceship Easter egg inside it. So
I have to ask, did you celebrate Yorkshire Easter or regular Easter?
Paula celebrated regular Easter. I celebrated Yorkshire Easter on Tuesday.
Thought so.
Yeah.
How much chocolate did you get on Tuesday?
It was half price here, and instead of being £15 for the Easter egg, it cost me £7.50.
How did I know? How did I know?
You know me too well. It's a Yorkshire thing. I've tried to explain it to Paul about, you don't buy Easter eggs pre-Easter. You wait until the sales.
That's true. That also works for selection boxes.
It certainly does. I also bought a bunting, a Easter bunting made out of wood with chickens on it. Should have been £4.99.
That's going up at Farmyard Jam, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just full of surprise.
Yeah. Some chicken bunting. It was pretty cool. So, yeah. Oh, I could have just got the chickens and just used them as medals.
Really could have,
that could have been. I've ordered medals today. I could have saved thousands on medals, couldn't I?
You overpay for medals, but this is why you don't make a profit. This is why you keep telling me you run the race because you like running the race. Exactly.
Jamie was talking about the other day. The medals we've got in, we have gone for the ceramic ones again. You know, the ones that are biodegradable and not recyclable and things like that. Because everyone liked them last year and it helps the environment a little bit. So, yeah, we've gone with them again. But they've got cows on them this time.
They've got cows on them this time. Just keep them away from Greek restaurants, I guess.
yeah. No Greek restaurants. Ceramic cows. Yeah, I get that.
Smashing plates.
Yeah. Before we digress far too much, Ian, tell me what you're drinking tonight. Which meal deal have we gone for this week?
Well, I've had it for a few weeks. I don't even think it was a meal deal. I think I just popped in and fancied it. It's another Greg selection. We've got sparkling mango and pineapple this week. No added sugar. It's a balanced choice, apparently. I'm not quite sure how pop can be a balanced choice.
I think I've had that one. Talking about balancing, before I tell you what I'm drinking, have you got a Garmin watch?
I do, and I really need another one. So if we can work on that sponsorship with Garmin, I'd appreciate it.
That's not going to happen, because before you get one, I definitely want one. Do you use Garmin Connect?
I do. Is that where all your stats and everything go in?
Yes, they are. Yeah. So I want to turn it on now. We're going to do this live on air.
Okay, turning Garmin Connect on. It's probably going to tell me to download an update.
It probably will.
No, the little man's running. He's still running. Oh, there we go. Where do you want me to go?
So on your front page, and it says My Day, what does your training status say?
It says absolutely nothing. I don't have a training status.
Oh, so you don't have, on your first page, it says, so at the bottom, you click My Day on the bottom left, and you don't have a training status?
Bottom left. My day, it says I did some cardio today, which is strange because I'm sure I did strength work. But anyway, it
Yeah.
tells me steps, it says intensity minutes, and it tells me calories, and that's about it.
All right. Well, I've got that as well. But mine says training session. And we was talking about this yesterday. So mine constantly says overreaching. I've never had it say balanced. And Jamie's had balance for the first time ever yesterday after we'd gone for a run.
Ah, right. Okay. I've just noticed
Yeah.
Garmin Connect was updated on the App Store about 2 days ago. So yeah, I've not downloaded the update.
That's fine. So anyone out there, I want to know what everyone's doing. Are you overreaching? Are you balanced? But let me know, people out there, because I'm really interested to see if it's just me. By the way, my resting heart rate is 47. What's yours?
Training with 53.
Oh, that's all right. That's not bad. We compare stats. I like comparing stats and things like that. I might take a screenshot and just share my stats with people.
Yeah, Ian Rowley used to do that. He'd come up to you in the gym and say, "How many steps you're on?" It's like, I don't care. I honestly don't care.
I like my stress level is only 27, so I think that's quite good. Right, where were we? Let's stop digressing on on little things.
What are you drinking?
Oh, what am I drinking? Oh, I'm on Beavertown neck oil tonight. Session IPA, people out there will know what Beavertown is. Seems to be the latest drink out there. I got a few cans for my birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago now. So yeah, I'm drinking one of my Beavertown neck oil. It doesn't taste as nice in cans as it does in a tap.
So what you're saying is you need to pour it into your taps?
How good would that be? You turn your hot tap, cold tap, beer tap.
That would be good. Have you ever seen those taps which are boiling water?
Yes, they're just so you can make a cup of tea with them straight away, can't you?
They seem like a enormous waste of energy when you think about it, because surely you must be constantly heating that water.
I don't know. I guess probably you are, but you're only eating it the moment you use it, aren't you?
Yes,
Or is it a tank? Is it a tank?
I'm not sure.
So I know at work. So we have a tank at work. You know, like on the wall, water goes into it, and it's constantly hot. And I'm told it's quite energy efficient because it's constantly hot.
Okay. Well, if any one of our listeners, or two or three of our listeners, have a boiling tap in their kitchen, get in touch. Let us know what your energy bill's like. We don't need to know the exact figures, but if you've got any idea what it is compared to what it used to be, then I'd be curious, because it is something I don't think I can ever afford it, but it is one of them things which you think when you're doing the kitchen up, should I do that?
Yeah. With my new boiler, my gas bill's gone down by £55 a month on average now the last 2 months.
Oh, that's impressive.
I think that's quite good, that. New boiler, 55 quid a month. I think that's quite impressive.
Do you remember when energy bills used to be £55 a month?
Yeah, I do, actually.
And the depressing thing is, it was only about 3 years ago.
I know. My electric bill for last month was £72. And I blame Paula, because sometimes when we go out in an evening, so if we go out for a meal or something like that, she'll put the telly on for Wilson and Betty to watch. So I'm blaming Paula for our electric bill. Like the dogs watch telly.
Can Wilson not just watch TV on his tablet?
Yeah, exactly. He could just get his tablet out. He doesn't need it, does he? We could just charge his tablet up.
Oh, God. Spoiled pooch. I bet you he's too screening it. I bet you that while he's watching TV, he's also on Facebook on his tablet.
Or playing some silly game on his tablet. What was it? Playing Candy Crush.
Yeah, he's playing Candy Crush or Angry Birds.
Oh, you can imagine him playing Angry Birds. Oh, shall we talk a bit of running or something?
You, me, might as well. I'm sure everyone's now switched off, so we might as well get on with the show, Alan.
Let's get on with the show. I'm going to start with. Got a bit of a request, not a request, but one of our guests from some time ago, Ian, is actually in hospital. And it's fairly serious, but I'm not going to go into what it is. If people know, they will know. But we're going to give a bit of shout out to Charlie Parvin. So B, Shell, Martin, Team Crab Arts have asked if we can send all the wishes and a fast recovery for her. So yeah, she's a good friend of ours as well. We've met her at Tough Mudder. We've chatted online. So yeah, and she's part of our pub, I do believe.
I believe so. She's part of a lexicon of this show, Alan, because I know she wasn't the first ever guest, but she was the first ever guest who was on this channel. Because you remember, originally we were on the Obstacle Racing Media channel for about 3 or 4 episodes, I believe.
We were, yeah.
And when we moved over to our own channel, Charlie was the first ever guest we had on.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, you're quite right. I'd forgot about that. So, and what a great guest she was. Anyone wants to go back and listen to that, it's actually a great episode. She talks all about Tough Mudder and volunteering, and as well as their own struggles. So yeah, a great episode.
Well, give it a listen if you haven't already, and get better soon, Charlie. And yeah, we hope you're back on your feet and in the mud soon.
Definitely. Talk about being in the mud. I got caught out by an April Fool's joke this week.
What April Fool's joke did you get caught out by? Please tell me it wasn't the one about Blackpool putting a swimming pool at the top of a tower.
Ian, that was genius on you. No, that bit weren't genius, but you put in the Hydrox post out on UKOCR was the most genius April Fool that I have seen in a long, long time. People were actually convinced that you were going to get a Hydrox.
They were indeed, but we'll talk about that one in a minute. Tell us about the one you got caught out with.
Tough Mudder and Spartan Mud Stout. It caught me out. I thought, yeah, it looked feasible, and I never really read the small print. And I can't remember who it was who mentioned it to me. I think, Will mentioned it to me. I need to read the small print, and it said infused with mud, and that gave it away. But I thought it was genuine mud stout. They were going to give us a finisher beer. I was looking forward to it.
I like that one. I think it was Graham Wells who shared it in the pub, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, it wouldn't put it past Tough Mudder to do something like that. Because think of some of the strange things we have in beer already.
Yeah.
A little bit of mud, even if it was only a fractional amount, it wouldn't make much difference to a taste. And in the case of things like Carling, it would definitely improve it, but it wouldn't make much different in the taste. But it would be a great gimmick.
Yeah, it would have. And I didn't read the small print though. I know Graham shared it with us originally. And I saw it and I thought, that's a great idea. I thought it was genuine. I did think it was completely genuine. And I saw it online as well. Like I thought, once again, it's absolutely genuine. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Thank you to Will for bursting my bubble.
Yeah, that is a shame. And those are the kind of April Fools that I like, which is kind of what we base the Hydrox thing on. It's silly, but with enough believability that makes you think, could it be real?
You had it. When you sent it to me, because you shared it with me the day before, I've got a little secret. You said it with me the day before and said, I'm going to put this out. And it wasn't until I got down to you put Daisy somebody or other. And I thought straight away, he read April Fool or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's what it is. And then you put somebody prankster, didn't you, later on, Peter Rankster or something?
Peter Rankster, so prankster, and I think it was Daisy. I can't remember her surname. It was whatever letters were left from April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
Whatever letters were left was her name. But some people did think it was real. I did get not angry messages, but I got a few disappointed messages after we'd let the cat out of the bag. And I think what made it, Alan, is me and you didn't really comment on it at all. We just shared it. And because we've got fans across the globe, it wasn't until later that night when the west coast of America had gone past midday that we could really say anything, because you can't spoil an April Fool's before midday, can you?
No, No, and we're going to spoil it all. I was reading the comments and I was thinking absolutely brilliant. I was like, oh yeah, I loved it. I loved it. And
I did enjoy that. Like, obviously, I thought it was obvious because we constructed it and we put the picture of the intern as the last picture, which was obviously photoshopped. The other stuff, yeah, you could just about tell it was photoshopped, but you might have thought, well, Hyrox could have done that as stock images,
yeah,
proof of concept images. But the last one of the intern was an obvious Photoshop job, just to hammer it home. I will give a shout out to a good friend of mine. She won't listen to this, but I will give a shout out to Louise Ogden, who is a in real life friend. I've known her, I want to say 25 years now, Alan. She's married to my best friend from back home. And if anyone appreciated the April Fools, go on Facebook, look at me photography, which is her camera place, and follow it because it would be funny for her to get a lot of followers and not realize why.
Did she do some of the photoshopping for you then?
She did all the photoshopping.
All
I
right,
do not have those skills in any way, shape, or form. And do you know what was depressing, Alan?
go on.
Those, I think she did 5 photos for us.
Yeah.
They took less time for her to do than for me to write that caption. I sent them to her. She got them back to us in 10 minutes.
When people are good at this stuff here, they're good at it, aren't they? These photographers, there's that old saying, isn't there? You don't always pay for the goods you're getting, you pay for the experience of the goods that you're getting. So the quality, the speed of it to be done and stuff like that.
You do, and it is an interesting concept because I get it all the time with what I do, and you probably get it all the time what you do. Because you don't make something, because the skills we offer are intellectual, although I think I'm stretching the word intellectual when it comes to me, but because it's intellectual skills, because it's legal stuff and it's knowledge of various government things for you, Alan, people sometimes don't realize the value. They
No.
just think, oh, it's free, in it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's giving me that advice. It's like they know that. Well, no, we actually spent years learning this. It's like a joiner and a mechanic. They've spent years learning stuff. We do exactly the same. We just don't put it forward in his hand. We do it in a different way.
Exactly. And that was another way of saying, guys, if the photographer is charging for pictures, pay for them, please don't rip them off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's that. Any other April Fools, Alan?
I saw Innovate one, which I thought was quite good. Do you see the Innovate? Instead of trail fly, they had rain fly, and they put suction grips on the bottom of the shoes. Great photoshopping on that because the shoe actually looked real.
Was a great Photoshop. Yeah, I like that. Some of the ones I didn't like so much. I think Spartan Arabia did a new obstacle, which was a slack line across piranhas, and that was like, well, yeah, that's an obvious April Fool's. There's no believability. You've got to have that believability factor.
Yeah, yeah. You can have a jokey one, but you've still got to have that believable factor.
One of my favorite non-racing ones was Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
What did they do?
Well, there's a backstory. As you know, the big one has been the biggest roller coaster in the UK since 1994.
Yeah.
30 years later, Ford Park down in Chertsey is about to launch a new roller coaster, which is just slightly taller than it.
Oh, how much taller? 4 inches, 5 inches, or bigger?
I think it's a few feet, but
Okay.
it's only a few feet. So Blackpool, for their April Fool's, said they'd had engineers out. They've added a few more feet to the big one. It's now the bigger one, and it's still the tallest roller coaster in the UK.
Again, believable.
It is, and that's what makes a good April Fool's joke. It's got to be silly, but it's also just got to have that makes you think factor. But yeah, I was really happy with how Hydrox came out. The only problem, Alan, is what do we do next year?
Oh, well, we've got a long time to think about it, Ian.
We do indeed. We do indeed. Maybe we say something really outlandish, like modern pentathlon is trying to take over obstacle racing. No, no,
No,
believable. It's not believable, is it?
no, it's not believable at all. We said believable.
Oh well, back to a drawing board.
That's actually a good segue into one of our other stories. So, first of all, apologies to Patreons because you normally get your podcast earlier than what you are getting it today, and the reason is because of this. So it was embargoed news. British Obstacle Sports have been successful in their pre-application to the UK Sports Council, Ian.
Ooh, so the pre-application has gone through.
Yeah, so they got a message back. Your pre-application, together with its supporting documentation, has been carefully assessed. If I read this, I would have been thinking, "Oh my God, this is a rejection." It has been carefully assessed and following consideration by the UK Officer Recognition Panel, which compromises officers from each home county. That's Sports England, Sports Scotland, Sport Wales, and Sports Ireland. And then at this point, I've been waiting for that, like, you haven't been successful, but it says, I am pleased to let you know that your pre-application has been successful and that you can proceed in the full application stage.
That is fantastic news. That is just wow. This is one of the moments, Alan, because the problem with government agencies, they take a long time and you can feel like nothing's happening. And it does prove how hard James and the rest of the team have been working in the background.
100%. I mean, they released it as, if people listening to this now, they can go to British Obstacle Sports Facebook page and Instagram, and they'll see that they've done a little bit of play on is OCR now a sport? Yeah. Because people have always said for years and years, OCR is not a sport. Running's the sport. OCR is not a sport. Well, this is actually the first stage to actually having the sport recognised. So forget about pentathlon and what's going to happen in pentathlon. Yeah. That's it's still not classed as a sport. That fifth discipline, it's the fifth discipline. It's not actually a sport. This is going to be the recognition to have it done as a sport.
Absolutely. And it's not yet a sport, but we're closer now than we ever have been.
Without a doubt. Big shout to everyone. I mean, the whole press release, we'll put it on as page than that, but they're saying many thousands of volunteer hours have gone into the first important recognition, but it's not the end. This is not the end, people. They still need people to become members. So I hope every one of our listeners is a member of British Obstacle Sports. We can't promote it enough because this is what we want. If we become recognised as a sport, we're going to see more races come back. The more races come back, the more people are going to attend them. The more people who attend them, the bigger our sport gets. Yeah, let's embrace it. Let's get back to the size it used to be. Yeah, let all them little problems come back that we used to have. Where people ask every day, "What's the best shoe for OCR?" I don't mind that. If we're getting questions like, "What's the best shoe for OCR?" then that means we're getting newbies into the sport. So get that question in there. Let people do it.
Yeah, best shoe for OCR. What music do you listen to before a race? What nutrition do you have? Yeah, let's have all that back, Alan. And like you say, this is not the end, but it's not the beginning.
No. Is this chapter 2?
Maybe chapter 2. Maybe it's the end of the beginning.
Oh, yeah. I like that. This is the end of the beginning. And now we've got the start of the end. Not the end goal, because it's not going to be the end, is it? The start of the continuation.
There we go. That works. That absolutely works. I do have lots and lots of questions about this, but Alan, I suspect you're going to know about as much of this as I do. So we probably should get an expert in to ask the questions too.
100%. Yeah, we're going to try and get James and any of the other British Obstacle Sports committee members on. We're going to have a special podcast coming out in the next couple of weeks. If you've got any questions, listener, if you've got any questions you want to ask in, drop us a message, admin@ukocr.com. We'll ask them. Yeah. Message us on Facebook, message on Instagram, wherever you want to message us. Send us the questions that you want answered, and we will try and get them answered.
Perfect. Don't ask them what shoes they're going to wear, though. That's been played out a bit.
Yeah. Couple of things though, people, they still need volunteers. So if you want to be volunteers, it's a volunteer-led organisation. Hit them up there. Head over to British Obstacle Sports, and follow them. And yeah, we'll continue to work with them, Ian.
No, we will. We'll do all we can to promote this great sport of ours.
And talking about promoting, have you seen what Federica Di Carriera has done for the first race in the UKOCR series?
I have, and it's amazing.
What a video of Tartan Warrior. Anyone wants to see it, again, head on to British Obstacle Sports website. It's actually on ours as well, on our Facebook page. We've shared it, but it's on YouTube. Fedi has done a video which is absolute quality of Tartan Warrior. The story of it, you know, in terms of how the race went for the men and the women and everything else. So get on there and watch it.
No, make sure you do. And make sure you share it. Let's try and get into the habit of sharing stuff when we see something we like.
And that fetches me to another segue. Let's say, slow, you keep teeing me up here. The UKOCR award pictures went out this week, and they have had thousands of shares, Ian. All I've seen for the last 2 days or 3 days is pictures and pictures and pictures of the awards.
They are fantastic. Tony Jarvis, you're a magician when it comes to the camera.
One of the best pictures is of the big group there, and Chris Shipley is passing his phone to his girlfriend, but he's not passing it. He's actually throwing it across the room for her to catch. And Tony has got the perfect picture where everyone sees him doing it, and you've got 40, 50 people there, all with the mouths open, thinking it's going to get dropped and fall on the floor and smash. What an amazing picture.
They're just great. And that's just an example of the action shots he can take. I love the ones that really catch the essence of a night, because we talked about this a few weeks ago, that after the awards, from our point of view, you know, Tony's night could have been over then. All we needed was pictures of the award winners. That's all we'd really requested. And he just kept going, didn't he? And he's got some cracking shots of people just, I don't know, drinking, laughing, joking, and dancing.
He's got some amazing pictures in, and I mean, what a guy. I've got to take my hat off to him. You know, we see him do the pictures of nuclear, and then we see these pictures, and yeah, he's gone above and beyond. He's gone above and beyond.
And watching, he was one of our first guests as well. So go back into the archives and give him a listen.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting. We've had so many guests on. I keep forgetting who we've had on.
We are running out of people. This is why we need British Obstacle Sports to get us as a sport, because we need an influx of people in for you to interview. I don't think we'll ever run out of people to interview, but you're probably getting close.
Yeah, I reached out this week. I don't know if you know, but the Great Britain team went to the World Athletics cross country, and they won the mixed relay bronze. So I reached out to Bethany Morley, see if she'd come on. She ran the last leg, and no, didn't get no reply back here. And so yeah, we need people out on our podcast.
Yeah, we need OCR races. There's plenty. I assume that Paris is keeping you waiting for the time being.
I think they are, mate. Yeah, I think they do keep me waiting. And I've asked a few famous people to come on, and I think they're all keeping me waiting. I've got this philosophy that more I send out, the more requests I send out for them to come on. Someone at some point is going to go, yeah, go on, I'll come on your show.
Exactly. But it's not just about the people who make the newspapers. It's also about the people who are in the trenches with us, Alan, who run 10, 20 OCRs a year. They're the stories we want to tell as well.
100%. And a lot of our guests that we've had on, we've tried to keep it 50-50, haven't we? Where we've had athletes and we've had weekend athletes. We've had really good athletes and we've had weekend athletes. And the weekend athletes are some great stories, but we don't know everyone's story. So again, I'm going to shout out to our listeners here and say, if you know an athlete, a weekend athlete, or any athlete out there that's got a great background, hit us up. Let us know. We'll happily talk to them, because, you know, they'll soon become as friends, and we'll soon become their friends, and we can talk and stuff like that. But we need to get them stories out there, don't we?
As the English lady says at the start of the UKOCR podcast on a Monday, we're talking to races. How does it go again? Racers, runners, race directors, and quite frankly, anyone who will talk to us.
Exactly. Anyone will talk to us. Yes. What's happening in the fitness racing world? I'm sure you've got plenty of news coming from the fitness racing world.
Yeah, we got a fair bit. We have got High Rocks Dublin launched. It launched on Wednesday. So as you're listening to this, if you're not a Patreon, tickets should be on sale probably 6 p.m. on the Friday as you're listening to this. They're probably already sold out if you're listening to this on Saturday. Sorry about that. But yeah, Dublin is going to be a 2-day event at the same venue, but I think they're going to try and be in a different hall this time. So hopefully it'll be much less crowded. I know that's not a word, but less crowding in the running track, we hope, if we're in a bigger venue within the same complex. Also, we have heard that Deadly Dozen has added more waves to some of their sold out events, Alan. So go and check them out.
That's good news.
I had a bit of a question for you, Alan.
Go on.
When it comes to High Rocks, are we seeing too many Sims at the gyms, and are we seeing too many people coaching or saying they're High Rocks coaches?
In my opinion, yes to both. Although, okay, so we get a lot of simulations, and I think races have got to do that. I'm not convinced some of the ones I've seen where they're getting like 50 and 60 and 70 people coming and doing a simulation. I think if you're going to do it, go and do it. But it seems to be as though that some gyms are jumping on the bandwagon a little bit, and they're actually promoting it as an event.
Yeah, I keep seeing that. And sometimes, and this disappoints me. I almost said it upsets me. I guess it doesn't upset me. It disappoints me. You'll see these gyms holding events and they don't even have all the equipment necessary.
No. Or they'll have slightly different weights and things like that. And, they don't have, they don't have the facilities to do a sledge push that's 25 meters long. You're doing 10 meter ones.
Yeah. So I think it's 12 and a half at an event, but you're right. So you'll have it doing 5 times 10 because they don't have a 12 and a half.
Yeah.
That's not really a simulation. Or sometimes I've seen it where they don't actually have a long enough rope, Alan, and they're using them short hand ropes for the pull. So it's not a simulation. Or rather than do burpee broad jumps, you're doing burpees over the line.
Yeah. It's not the same. If they're going to do it right, guys. My honest opinion. But try not to take it away from IROX. It's an IROX thing, and sooner or later, I think IROX will jump on this and say, "Hey, look, this is our brand. This is our brand name." If they get too many people out there, I don't know if I would or not, because this is a balancing situation here, because it's the HYROX brand, yeah. So they want to protect it, yeah. And if someone's putting a bad event on and using the HYROX brand, that can have a negative effect. But in the same sentence, I remember when Joe DeSena used to put Sparta on, he used to say any publicity is good publicity, whether it be negative or good or indifferent. It's just publicity. And if they're using HYROX name a lot, then that's giving HYROX a lot more publicity.
Do they need it now?
Exactly. Do they need it? I don't know.
And I think that's where we kind of got to. And we should also point out that there is a distinction between a HYROX affiliated gym and a non-HYROX affiliated gym doing HYROX classes, doing HYROX sims. To me, I don't think the sims should be run as an event, because I just don't think you can properly simulate it. I think it's great. Sorry, I don't think you can properly simulate it when you're trying to get 60, 70 people through it.
Yeah.
I think doing a simulation on your own, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 of you, but running it as an event, I don't know. I'd be more Happy again. I can't think of a correct word here, Alan, but more willing to promote these simulations or more of these simulations if they had something that was different. And
Yeah.
I'll explore that a bit more. Hannah Bergen, who is a friend of the show, who's been on the UKHXR podcast, she runs simulations, but she also runs them as coaching opportunities.
Okay. So as they're
So
doing
it's
one particular exercise, she'll be there saying, "Hey, have you thought about doing it this way?"
exactly. So it's not just a case of here's the equipment, here's the movement standards, go nuts. It adds value to it.
I like that because an example of that is, I don't train for these. I don't train for high rocks, and I'm still not going to train for high rocks. All my training is run orientated. But if I did train for high rocks, I might have gone to the gym and I might have gone in there, warmed up a little bit, and then done 100 wall balls. Yeah. And tried to get a form doing 100 wall balls. But what I've not done is I haven't ran 8 kilometers before and done 7 other functional exercises. So when you get to that eighth, your form's going out of the window. So you need to do all of that before you get to the wall balls and then have a coach telling you, hey, look, this is what you're doing wrong. I got that with Faisal when we were doing, what is it? It gave me one tip on them wall balls, how to catch it, how to hold it up near my chest. It helped me no end. It's great when you get tips like that while you're doing it. I like that idea.
And I'll just read off her website here. Perfect for anyone who wants to give Harrods a go or who's entered a competition, wants to trial out some strategies and or highlight strengths and weaknesses to work on for upcoming competitions. All categories welcome. And she prices it out at 15 quid for individuals or 24 quid for two of you as a doubles team, which is a reasonable cost for basically you're under someone's eye. And she's been a coach for a relatively long period of time. And she's done quite a few high roxes and she's got podiums. So this wasn't just an advert for her, but it was an example of what I'd be expecting from an event that's put on like this. And there's other great ones out there as well. I like what Forders are doing, Alan. Forders will run a simulation and they will also have other events as well. So they'll have their Strive event, they'll have their OCR event, they will have, I think they've got a rowing champion coming doing a workshop. And it's all this thing that adds value.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of the simulations we're seeing are people just saying, oh, well, we're running a simulation and it's this much and come and join us.
Yeah, I get that. On the coaching side of things, do High Rocks have affiliated coaches? So I know they've got affiliated gyms. Do they have affiliated coaches as well?
They train coaches within their affiliated gyms. So there was recently a training day.
Okay.
Also, while we're talking about gyms that we'd recommend for simulations, Fit Body Farm, of course, have been doing high rock simulations since the very start. So if you're in Scotland, look up one of theirs.
Definitely. Who else does it in UK? Do we know what all the other ones are?
Who do simulations?
No, or the High Rocks affiliated, like Fit Body Farm.
Oh, there are, I think, 400 affiliated gyms there.
Oh, wow. That's a lot then now, isn't it?
It really is. And it's again no tougher to decide which of the who know the stuff and which are there because they're just adding high rocks to the name to try and get people through the door.
I see that with coaches. I see, you know me, I don't do coaching and that, but going on the UKOCR and the UKHXR Instagram quite a lot, I see a lot of coaches tagging UKHXR, I think I saw one the other day of someone who tagged you guys into it. And when I looked at their profile, it's something like he'd done 3 High Rocks events and he'd finished top 10 in his age group. He'd got a PT qualification, he got a coach qualification, but does that necessarily make him a good High Rocks coach? I think it's particular, and I don't want to mention his name. I can't remember it. That's why I don't want to mention his name. Otherwise, I probably would. But I don't even think he'd broken 1 hour 30 in Pro Wave. or something like that. And I was thinking, would I really want somebody like that as a coach? Is he just jumping on the bandwagon? Because there's going to be people out there that don't really know that, aren't there?
No, and this is where the brand can get diluted. It's hard not to be a gatekeeper, Alan, because you and me have been at this since the start of it in the UK. I need to add that we didn't go to Germany, but we did attend as UKOCR. We attended the first ever UK event.
Yeah.
When quite frankly, Hunter walked into that event. I think only about 5 or 10 people recognized him.
Yeah. Yeah, not many people in the UK knew him, did they?
No, he's mobbed, and to be fair, of 5 and 10 people, that did represent about, I don't know, 1% of the total athletes that are on that day. But I was looking at our old YouTube video. I might share it actually, Alan. The video did on that first day, and yeah, it does have some of the bells and whistles, like the pop-ups and all that. But one thing that stood out to me is how empty it looked.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? And compared to now, when it's absolutely full up.
So, from that background, it's hard not to be a gatekeeper. But on the other hand, it does slightly upset me when you do see people with a level 3 PT qualification claiming to be an expert in high rocks. They're not. They're just someone who has done a couple of races and thinks that they know what to do. And they probably do think they know what they do.
Yeah.
But it's a money grab.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to get at. Are the coaches just jumping on it? And I know that one of the local gyms were in Barnsley, they've actually jumped on it as well. There's a coach there that's turning around and telling people, oh, yeah, I'm a high rocks coach. And one of my friends goes to the gym, and I said to him, ask him what he's done, what has he done it there? And I think he said he ran, so in age group category, so not in pro weights, in age category, he ran a 128 or something like that. So, which don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's not pulling the weeds up, is it really?
No, it's not. And I'd be curious as to what his background is in terms of the exercises.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that ex-CrossFit coaches who have a background in running as well would by far be some of the best coaches at High Rocks.
Do you think, and in High Rocks and the functional fitness side of things, I noticed the post on Hunter put out this week that has gone from 218, I want to say pounds, but it might be kilos, I don't know, to 119 something now. So he's lost 10% of his body weight, and he's talking about power to weight ratio. Do you think, although he's a great runner anyway, do you think that is because he now knows he's got to make his running really count? Because the fitness side of things, the exercise side, he's got the strength and everything to do them, but the running side is going to take a lot more up.
He's cutting, getting ready for championships.
Yeah.
Because this is a standard thing that every runner finds out, particularly any overweight runners, and I count myself in that. As you drop the pounds, you get faster. It's just the way it works. What Hunter's probably trying to do is he's probably trying to shed just fat, and he wants to try and keep his muscle. It's hard to do, but if you can get it right, you become a much better athlete by going through this cycle of putting weight on and then cutting it down again.
Yeah. It does look like he's lost some, I want to say around, we call them levandles over here in Yorkshire, along the sides. So he's looking a lot more trimmer when it comes down to his waist, if I'm going to say anything. But yeah, I think it was when he won the championship last year, he was 218 and now he's 194, if I remember rightly.
It'll be interesting. It's also going to be interesting because at the moment, Hunter hasn't touched the new equipment, as far as I'm aware.
Right. Do you think that's going to make a big difference?
I don't know. At the moment, it seems to have made a difference in the sleds, but any new sled goes fast. It's just the way they are. So will it make a difference come World Champs? I'm not sure. We're just going to have to wait and see. But this has been a little bit of a negative topic, so I'm going to put a bit of a bow on it and just say there are lots of good coaches and lots of good gyms out there. But listener, if you want to get into High Rocks and you want a coach or you want to go to a gym, reach out to people you trust first. Don't just see the High Rocks banner and think, oh, this must be a great gym. It may be a good gym, or it may be that they're paying High Rocks, I don't know what it is, 100 quid or so a month just to display their name.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Shall we move on to happier news?
Should we move on to my adventures in Deckerland?
Your adventure in Deckerland, that's what I was going to say. More happier news. Tell me about your Decker trip, Ian.
Well, I went down to Warrior Hit, down, I want to say Bedfordshire, but it might be Hertfordshire. I think it's right on the border. Their gym, as I understand it, is fantastic, but this wasn't at a gym. This was at a school, which was an academy, and the facilities, it was a sports hall, Alan, but it was better than any sports hall I've ever been in.
Oh, wow. In what way?
It was just massive. The floor was pristine. To be fair, I think the whole thing's only been open maybe a couple of years.
Right.
And it was just such a nice venue. They either do a very good job of cleaning or it really is almost brand new. Because as you know, floors in gyms get scuffed up a bit.
Oh, very much so. Very much so.
And what was best about it was there was so much room to film because of the way they'd lined up the Decker stations. They went back to back to back to back. And if it was a station that was just standing still, you had behind it like 30, 40 meters of dead space where I could go and take videos.
Oh, so did you get lots of footage?
I did, and I really need to get through it. I've sent it off to some friends or people who we know who did it. If I got their footage, I sent them their footage, including Alan, a friend of the show, Nikki Firefly.
Oh, and you got loads of pictures of her, loads of videos?
I got a few videos of her and her partner. Actually, I sent them all to her partner. So sorry, Nikki, if you want them, you know, either get in touch with me or get in touch with. Oh, I'm horrible with names because I know her Instagram handle is, I believe, Popcorn and Positivity. Let me just double check that, Alan, because I know people by their Instagram. Do you know this? Do you do this? You just know people off Instagram names.
I don't, because I'm not that Instagrammy like you. I'm still more of a Facebook fan, but I am trying to get people by their Instagram names because when you're tagging people in, you can't always find the right person when you put the name in.
No, it's Protein Bars and OCRs, which is a great name.
Oh, I like that.
And that's Kirsty. So, Nikki, if you want some videos, I sent some to Kirsty, or just contact me and I'll send them direct to you. That's fine. But yeah, lots of footage. And I did my first ever Decker Mile.
Oh, how'd you go on?
Do you know that video we saw of Will doing his first Decker Mile that we had a good old chuckle about?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Did you beat Will's time, though?
Oh, God, no. I don't even think I could beat Will's time doing a Decker Strong. In fact, I probably couldn't beat Will's Decker Fit time doing a Decker Strong. But anyway, no, I was nowhere near Will's time. But it was fun, but it was incredibly hard. I don't know how it's so much harder to do a race with 340 meters less running than a Decker Fit and it being such a horrible beatdown.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't sound good, Ian.
I think it might be because you probably run that 160 meters faster than you'd run 500 meters.
Well, you'd run 160. No, this doesn't make sense. I'm going to run 160 meters faster than I run 500 meters.
I mean, from a pacing point of view, obviously you're always gonna run it a bit faster. Yeah, I didn't word that correctly. But
you was getting me there. A pace. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. I get
160 meters. You're not going to sprint it, but you're probably jogging at a fair pace. Whereas 500 meters in your head, you're thinking, I'm at my 5K pace here, or slightly quicker.
Yeah. I get that. I get that now. Now you got me right.
But yeah, It was fun, and I absolutely died on the burpees. It was we put up a video. Thank you, Peter Kelly, for taking that video. I didn't even know he was there. I I didn't even realize I had a judge. I didn't realize I was in Bedfordshire or wherever I was. All I was someone lifting a ram over my head and doing a burpee.
Oh, and did you get some no reps?
No, thankfully not. I think it's quite hard to no rep the ram burpee because you have to touch it to your chest or to your sternum, and then you've got to lift it straight above your head. It's kind of hard. If you know the rules, it's kind of hard to get no rep.
Okay. So maybe the Spartan races, they need to do that then.
Absolutely. Introduce the ram burpees to Spartan races. That would well, it'd make me laugh, if nothing else. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I did a deca mile, I think 37 something or about. I'm not sure. But then I went and did a deca strong with the intern.
Oh, so doubles.
We did a double deca strong, and I think we got a PB out.
Oh, amazing, mate. What did you do?
I think 21:58 again by amazing people's standards. That is pedestrian. Some people are doing it in
Yeah.
less than 10 minutes when I'm doing doubles. But by mine and Jen's standards, I'm sure that the one we did at Forders was about 27 minutes. We like shaved off 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. That's great news, that. Well
Yeah,
done. What was the secret?
The secret was to basically keep moving, if that makes sense. So that
Okay.
if one of us was flagging, the other one would take over, not staying to a set or I'm doing 10, you do 10.
We did that at the High Rocks wall balls, and it worked for us. There's no set that you've got to do. You haven't got to the 50-50. If one of you's slightly stronger than the other at whatever moment in time, do that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is great advice for any doubles. Just do what you can do. And as soon as you feel like you're flagging, swap. So for example, in the burpees, I did 15 of the burpees to Jen's 5 because Jen doesn't really like the burpees, but she loves the tank, which I don't like. So she did a lot more of a tank.
Yeah.
And then when it came to burpees, I got to 10 and I was flagging. It was like, Jen, can you just give us a breather? So she did 5, and then I took over and did the final 5.
Cool. I like that.
But there's something else I wanted to talk about. As well as taking part in DECA, I judged it as well.
I seen this on the notes you put judging. I want to know, what did you judge?
I judged people doing it. This is the weird thing about a DECA in a gym. You get a judge assigned to you
Okay.
who then follows you around each station.
So you followed what, a single or doubles, or what was you doing?
I did a single and I did a doubles as well. So
Right. Okay.
I think I only judged maybe twice, maybe 3 times. I was basically a relief judge. We know the people who are organising it. I just said to Rich, look, if you're in a bind because people need a break, then by all means, I'll step in. And that's what I did. And it was a lot of fun. And it was so weird being there from someone starting an event to then finishing.
Oh, I bet you see all the emotions, the euphoria of starting it, and then the, oh God, I can't finish it, or I'm really flagging, then to the euphoria of finishing.
You did. And it's hard to try and be neutral because you're so rooting for him, Alan. You just
Yeah.
want him to get a PB. You almost feel like you have to coach as well, though you're not really meant to. And you feel really, really harsh when you have to no rep him.
Oh, Grumpy never feels harsh when he no reps.
No, but I think Grumpy's got more practice at it than I have.
Did you ask your people you're watching what their PB was, so you could like tell them how close they were, or anything? Or you're not allowed to do that?
I don't think you're allowed to do. I asked people, what were they aiming for?
Okay.
And most of them did okay. I think the doubles wanted it in sub 30, and I got them around 28:30.
Oh wow, very good.
So they did it, and it is fun. Again, if you attend one of these events, definitely if you can help out, then help out. It's a shame, Alan, that sadly there's one coming up in a couple of weeks that you can't attend because your Wilson sitter is coming to meet Wilson.
Well, Talking about Wilson, I'm going to talk about Wilson before I go because I'm going to put a shout out. I need a new Wilson sitter.
Oh, what happened to Wilson sitter?
Oh, she's not very well, so I've got to find a new Wilson sitter. Yeah, so Wilson needs a home for a week.
So does that mean you can do Deca Crew now?
Well, who knows? I haven't brought this up yet. We're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I was supposed to go down and pick up my Wilson sitter from down south and bring her up, but she's not very well. So yeah, I need a new Wilson sitter. So I'm currently researching local sitters in our area because apparently, and I never knew this, you can actually take your dog to someone's house and leave them at their house, or they'll come to your house. But I'm not actually keen on people coming to my house and stopping in my house for a week if I don't know them. So yeah, I'm currently researching sitters on a website called rover.com.
Rover.com.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, rover.com. Yeah. So
that's a great name for a website. But yeah, Alan, if you can do a deco, you absolutely should. You'd enjoy it.
It's something I want to do. You know, I've done the High Rocks. I want to do another deco. Want to go back to High Rocks again next year. I'm 100% convinced that I'm going back to High Rocks again in whatever month it is at the beginning of 2025. Need to go around a little bit faster and that. I've still got that solo I want to do, that solo pro, and yeah, that's my aim. Or I can do it with you again, and I don't mind either way.
Yeah, or maybe we both solo pro it.
Oh, we're both sort of.
Yeah, not a chance of that.
We could both solo pro it and do it together and encourage each other along.
That's a potential, although that still leaves me with 109 kg wall balls, and I don't think I could do 109 kg wall balls.
What about if we speak to High Rock? So here's a thought for you. We do it together, but we can also help each other.
So a doubles, but not a double. So you could do 150 wall balls.
So yeah, in theory, yeah. So you know, we'd have to do everything twice, yeah. But in theory, we could like the sledge push. You know, we could. I could do 6 and you do 2. You know, burpees. You could do burpee broad jumps. You could do 2 whole laps of them, and I'll not do any.
It was funny at that event how I almost took you out because you were so scared of the burpees that you stopped at the entrance.
No.
It was like a cliff. It was like I'd almost knocked you down a cliff. Right, moving on from fitness racing, but not too far from Deca, Spartan in the US last week after we recorded announced prize money.
Yes, Ian, prize money in America. Will we get it in the Europe now? Because they've talking Europe's growing.
Yeah, I don't know. And we should state it's only for a couple of races and it's $8,000 total. So I believe that works out at $2.5 for the winner, $1,000 for second place, and 500 for third place. I think I've got that maths right.
Certainly have, Ian. That sounds about spot on to me.
Yeah, and it's the bigger races. So it's Big Bear and what's the other race? Do you recall?
I don't. It's been a week ago, Ian, since I spotted this, or you spotted
Utah.
it.
Utah, Big Bear and Utah. So it's a good thing. Yeah, well done to Spartan for introducing prize money. I'm not sure we talked about it, but I think the World's Toughest Mudder has also introduced some prize money as well.
We talked about prizes. They've not announced if it's money yet when we last looked online, unless that's happened and I haven't seen it.
I think there's some prize money now for the team event, I believe.
Okay.
Which is cool. Again, anything that can help grow the sport is great. And I actually quite like the fact that the prize money is modest, but still a chunk of change.
Yeah. And talking about prize money, the UKOCR series, providing we get all 8, we have the prize money has been decided now, which is going to be 500 for the male winner, 500 for the female winner, 200 for second, both male and female, and 100 for third. Yes. So
perfect. So that's the winners of series.
That's overall, yeah. So we're not doing masters. It's going to be just straight up overall.
But we're still having prizes for masters, etc. Yes.
Yes, there'll still be awarded prizes at the awards and things like that. Yeah, and we're hoping to try and get some other things for the Masters series. So prizes as opposed to cash for the Masters.
So we could buy them a beer at the awards.
We're hoping for a bit more than a beer for them, but let's play this by ear. 2 beers.
2 beers.
2 beers.
Perfect.
Which 100% pay rise on what we gave them last year.
To be fair, we missed a trick there. We should have got them all actually, no, by those prices in the hotel. No, that wouldn't have worked out. I jest. It actually was reasonably priced.
Yes, it was. It was. And we'll be at a point, I think, at the end of this month as well, where we'll be able to send out the survey ready for next year. And we're going to start taking bookings and we're going to offer payment options as well, Ian. That's the plan.
Perfect. But we can't announce yet where it is.
We can't announce where it is because we haven't booked anything. But the plan is we want to book it quite early this year, give people at least 8-month payment plans.
Perfect. So it sounds like a great idea. And maybe like High Rocks, when it announces events 8 months early, maybe we'll sell out, Alan.
It'd be good if we would. The pictures this year have been phenomenal. I think there's a lot of people realise what they missed now. And we're only going to get better next year because hopefully British Obstacle Sports are going to want to also come with us again and want to give their awards again. And then we've also got the endurance series and the 3K series that it'd be great if we could have them all on one night and everyone got their awards at the same time.
Which probably means, Alan, with all them people giving out awards, does that mean less work for me and you?
That is the plan, Ian. This is always my plan, Ian. You know this.
Love this idea.
The more we can do, but doing less, the better it is for us.
Perfect. Right, Alan, is there anything left to chat about?
No, Ian. We've done it again. We've digressed so much that we've gone over our allotted 1 hour.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, listen, but I believe you enjoy it when me and Alan digress.
I hope so. They get to learn a little bit about us.
They do, but yeah, as Sophia once said, we probably should change the name of the show from the Swift Half to the Unhurried Full.
Yeah, I love the Unhurried Full.
Right, and on that then, Alan, I'm going to say it's a goodbye from me.
And listeners, it's a goodbye from me. You take care, you stay safe, you keep on running, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye.